I'll be right there. I'm a little late. Hello. This is the Royal Cinema at 608 College Street. Yep, and this is the Neon Dreams Cinema Club 3-year anniversary screening of Get Crazy. Well, thank you for coming. Not a bad audience. I got some people here. I'm Alan Arkush. I directed the movie. And so before the show starts, I thought I'd give you just a little background on the picture, kind of a quick one. I went to NYU Film School, and while I was at film school, and that was in the late 60s, I worked at the world's greatest rock and roll theater, the Fillmore East. And I saw every band from that era, Jimi Hendrix, The Doors, The Byrds, Grateful Dead, Jefferson Airplane, you name it, they're in the movie in the sense of there are satires of them in the movie. And it was a great experience, and I made a lot of lifelong friends between NYU and between working there, and it was great. And I always wanted to make a movie about that experience. So I ended up going to Los Angeles and working for Roger Corman and worked my way up to directing. I did Hollywood Boulevard and got paid $85 for directing that movie. And then eventually, 4 years later, I got to do Rock and Roll High School, which I'm sure, knowing this crowd out there, you've all seen. You look like that kind of person, and or many times seen it many times. And after a failure at Universal, I really needed to make another movie again, and I wanted to make something personal. I wanted to make a movie about my experiences at the Fillmore East, and that was Get Crazy. And I went to an independent company who I pitched the movie to and said they loved the idea. They just wanted to change it. They wanted it to not be set in the 60s and so personal. They wanted to do, because it was a hit at the time, Airplane in a rock and roll theater. And that's the way these guys talked. They talked stuff like that. And we rewrote the script and made it contemporary for the period. And that was the movie that we went and shot. And I thought I'd bring you some rare photos. This is one of the producers of the movie, Hunt Lowry. And that's me. You know, it is New Year's Eve, so we did feel like it was New Year's Eve all the time there. And I'm looking for another picture. Oh yeah, here it is. Here I am, directing The Great Leaving from Fear, and that's me. And I sure wish I had that T-shirt, the Shangri-La's T-shirt. It's pretty cool. Here I am with the entire Nada. Well, here's the Nada band. They arrive at the theater. That was my homage to all the girl groups that I love. And of course, one of my all-time favorites, Lou Reed. Lou is one of the greatest artists I've ever met and worked with. And it was great to be around him. He's a bit difficult, but it's worth it. And of course, Malcolm McDowell. I was on the set with Malcolm McDowell. And I got to talk a lot about Stanley Kubrick. And he told me all about Clockwork Orange and Lindsay Anderson and working on If. And then later on, years later, if you know my career, I ended up producing, directing Heroes. And Malcolm was in that as well. Now, Get Crazy came out. Well, they tested it first, and it didn't test very well. And we had made a beautiful Dolby surround mix and all this stuff. And the guys who ran that company decided they could make more money by losing money with the movie. In other words, they were going to Bialystock it. Now, if you've seen the movie The Producers, you know that Max Bialystock has this scheme where he oversells shares in the movie and then in his plays, and then he wants it to lose money so that he can make money, and that's what they did. They basically sold it off to a tax shelter group and put it in theaters where no one would find it and didn't take out ads, or they took out ads with the wrong dates, and basically did everything they can to make the movie disappear. And that, of course, was tragic for me. And I put a lot of my heart and soul in the movie, and no one got to see it. And they even, well, they screwed up the release. This is it. This is all that I've got of it, practically. I've got a VHS. There aren't many of these. In fact, I've never seen two of them in the same place. So you got that, and I've got a couple albums, the soundtracks. There you go. I got 2 copies. As you can see, this is the worst ad ever. How terrible is this ad? If you want to see the worst trailer ever, go to the website that I'm on. It's called trailersfromhell.com. go to Gurus, click my name, and you can watch the Get Crazy trailer and hear my narration about what happened. Now, any questions? Because, yeah, that's what I thought. Same question already says, why is it not out on DVD now? It's because for years and years and years, companies would approach me, and because the original company were such crooks that they sold and sold and sold their company, and the negative and soundtrack went from lab to lab and it couldn't be found. Then a little while ago, last year, somebody came to me who has a really good video company and asked about it again. And he found it through a search that it was actually owned by MGM. And so he couldn't put it out, but he put me in touch with the woman in charge, MGM, of all their prints. And she had an original negative, an original track, and she had it on digital copy of it and surround and everything. And she watched it and really liked it and went to the people at MGM and said, you guys ought to distribute this movie. And the people at MGM looked at it and they said no. And they weren't interested. And I'm not going to spend that much money on the songs and getting the rights. It's too much effort. Done deals. But she made me this. This is a DVD off the original copy of the movie. So I got this. Now, I've been directing for years, and so you all know that I don't just make successful TV shows. I also like to make a failure once in a while that nobody sees. It just keeps me in fighting trim. So check this out. This is Elvis Meets Nixon. I love this. It's very, very funny. You can't get it on DVD or VHS, but it's on YouTube. So you should try and get it. Watch this if you like my sense of humor. And I'm still directing. So I've been directing Nashville, the last 2 seasons. Season 5, episode 16. If you've got a pen out there, write this down. Season 6, episodes 3, 8, and 15. Moving along, the best thing I've done in years is on Netflix right now. It's part of Lemony Snicket's series of unfortunate events. There I am with the wonderful cast. How nuts does this look, right? I did the episode called Hostel Hospital. And so it's firm in your mind. Here's your information. Hostel Hospital, episodes 7 and 8. And for me, it's a combination of the inspirations were the Marx Brothers and Duck Soup, Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, early Lubitsch from the 30s, those comedies about the countries that you never heard of before, and a soupçon of The Shining. It's a little bit scary. So watch that if you want to see what I've been doing lately. And it's Saturday night. Get yourself a couple of drinks, smoke them if you got them, and you're going to see Get Crazy. It's not New Year's Eve, but when that movie runs, it's New Year's Eve every night. So Happy New Year, and thank you. Thank you for coming. I do appreciate it, and I'll talk to you later in the question and answer. So think of something to ask me. Okay, projectionist, Mr. Projectionist? There you are. Yeah, roll the picture. Thank you.